Okay.
So whenever we're solving a story problem like this, we have kind of like a situation, and we need to
Correct.
like make an equation for
Yeah.
it. The first thing we should always ask ourselves is we should just write down what it is that we're trying to solve for, because it can be really easy to forget exactly the number that we want, because we may have to write more than one equation sometimes. So what are they asking us? What are they trying to ask us to find?
You pretty much you could say like one fifth the cost of like new washing machine.
So more of what I'm talking about in this situation.
Like how much are you saving? Pretty much.
So the first thing we should think about is not like any of the information. We just ask us, what is the number that we get at the end? What does that tell us?
If you're
What are they asking us to figure out?
It's 400. If you buy it for 400, how much can you save?
So we're not looking for an answer in this case.
Mhm.
So we're just trying to figure out. We make sure that we set up the problem right. We want to like figure out what it is they want us to solve for. So in the case of this problems, they want to know the regular price of the washing machine.
Right.
So if I were going to do an example along with this, and this is, we'll say this is 22 from the book. Page 42. Okay, so my step one is sort of, I need to find the original cost of the washing machine. Okay, so that's the thing I need to find. My equation at the end should tell me what the original cost of the washing machine was. So the thing in step 2 we want to do is write down all the information we know. Okay, so let's think about what information do we know.
What information do you know? It's number 2. It's like 400 for it.
So what is 400 here? What does this 400 stand for?
The self-powered washing machine. It costs $400.
Yeah, so the sale price of the washing machine.
Correct.
So we know that step 2. So we're trying to find the original cost. So we know the sale cost.
Right.
The sale cost equals $400. Okay, what else do we know?
Let's see. Asking. You could save 1/5.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We can save 1/5. So the discount is we're gonna save 1/5.
Right.
So
Is it time you bought?
the sale is 1/5 the original cost. So we don't know the original cost. That's what we're trying to save for. So basically, in this step, we should give this a variable. Write down whether this solve. Give this variable. So what variable should we assign to the original cost of the washing machine? Let's just give it a letter.
X.
X. All right, we're gonna call this X. We're gonna say this is X. Okay, so we know that the sale cost equals 400, and the sale is 1/5 the amount of the original cost. So our step 3 is using our information. Make an equation. Okay. So how can we make an equation out of this information that would help us out?
Use the equation.
Yeah, so what kind of equation do you think we could set up to help us solve this?
X. Let me see. One plus 1 5.
So plus 1/5. That would, okay, so let's sort of examine what x plus 1/5 means. X plus 1/5 means we're going to take the original cost of the washing machine
Oh,
and add 1/5 to it. Okay.
Subtract 1/5.
Okay, so we're going to take, this says we're going to take the original cost of the washing machine.
In the 400 should be equal 400.
Okay, so let's go ahead and write that equals 400 over here. So what you're saying is you do x minus 1/5. Okay, so let's think about what this means. So whatever x is, we're going to subtract 1/5 from it. So basically what that says, so if x is, so what unit is x in? X is in dollars, right? Because it's a cost. So what this says is we're going to take whatever the cost of the washing machine is and subtract 1/5 of a dollar. So we're going to subtract 20 cents from it. Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, it looks like it. Just to figure out how much we saved, right?
So this, let's think of what this 1/5 means. It says 1/5 the original cost. Right now what this means is whatever the cost of this is, all we're going to do is subtract 20 cents. We're going to subtract 1/5 of a dollar. So it's basically saying the sale is 20 cents off. Does that make sense? It's not. Okay, so this isn't exactly right. How might we figure out what 1/5 of the original cost is?
1/5 of the original cost is?
Yeah.
Divided by.
Yeah, divided by. So if the original cost is x, what would we divide this by? If it was 1/5 the original cost.
1/5 divided by 1/5.
So, sort of. So, let's see.
1/5. Oh, okay. I had to. Is it 2/5? Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just write it all out. 25. 125. 1/5? I don't know.
So, okay, so if I asked you for trying to think of a simpler example to talk about this with.
It's confusing.
Okay, so sale price is 1/5 the original price. Okay, how much? Okay, if something is okay, so if let's say I'm gonna give you a really simple example. Say I had a pizza that was cut into 8 slices. And I wanted to ask you, how many slices are in half the pizza?
How many slices are in the pizza?
How many slices are in half the pizza?
4.
4. So let's think about how we would solve that. So there's 8 slices in the whole thing, right?
So 1/4. No.
So we're going to take the 8 slices, and I want to know what
4/8.
So I want to know how many slices are in half the pizza. I just multiply that by a half, and that gives me 4. Because 8 times 1 is 8, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4.
Okay.
So if I want to know what fraction, so if I know there are like some amount of things, and I want to know what fraction of that, if I want to know like what 1/4 of that is, all I have to do is take that number and multiply it by a 1/4. So to find out the original cost of so to figure out the sale price of the washing machine, what would I have to multiply? What do I have to do? If x represents the original cost of the washing machine,
The x time 1/5.
1/5, yeah. Okay, so let's think about what x to the 1/5 tells us. X to the 1/5 tells us how much we get off, right? It doesn't tell us the cost of the washing machine. We know the original cost is x, and we know we get 1/5 off. So by doing 1/5 times x, this tells us how much we save on our washing machine. But it doesn't tell us exactly, it doesn't tell us this, right? So basically, if something is like $100 off, if I said this washing machine the sale was $100 off, how would you set it up?
Sales was $100 off.
Yeah. So if I change this problem and I said the sale is, if I said instead the sale is $100 off, how would you set that up?
Sales $100.
Yeah.
It'll be 1/5.
So don't even worry about this. Instead of 1/5, if I said the sale, after the sale, I paid.
X. So it'll be X.
Mm-hmm.
Time 100.
So let's say if the washing machine was $100, it would be 100 times 100. That's how much I would pay.
Oh, you divide it. X. You got to divide it.
Okay, so let's think about even a simpler example. So if you went into a store and there was a washing machine for $500 and they told you there was a $100 off sale, how much would you pay?
$100 off sale. It's $500.
Yeah.
400.
400. Yeah. What's the math formula for that?
Subtraction.
Yeah. So that'd be just that, right? 400. Okay. So we're kind of doing the same thing. Except for we don't know X. We don't know what X is. But right, this is X in this problem, right? The original price of the washing machine. So let's rewrite this formula, but kind of using this as an example. So in the example we just did, this was the original price, right? 500. So in the example we just did together, so we don't know the original price in this one yet. So I'm going to just write X instead of 500. So now, this was the sale, right? This was in the problem we just did, the sale was $100 off.
Yeah.
But we don't know an exact number in this case. But what we do know is that we get 1/5 off the original price. Well, how do we figure out what 1/5 of the original price is?
1/5. Subtract it.
So kind of ignoring this, let's just think about the part where we have
X.
how do we figure out what's 1/5 of the original cost?
What's 1/5 of the original cost? Is it 1/5 of the original cost?
We just figured it out a minute ago.
Okay, we time it by the X. Right?
Yeah. So if we want to figure out 1/5 of the original cost, we just take 1/5
Yeah.
and multiply it by X.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is kind of our equation, right? And it's exactly the same thing we did before. It's just the numbers were a little more complicated to get.
Okay.
So we set that our original cost of the washing machine was X. So we set that to be equal to X.
Right.
And we said we know that we get some amount of dollars off, but they didn't tell us like 100, right? They said, oh, you get 1/5 of the original cost.
Right.
Well, that's not so hard to figure out 1/5 of the original cost. That's just the original cost, which is X, times by 1/5. And so now we know like you said, that equals 400. So now that's all that's left to do. And I'm just going to write this with an X next to it. Yeah. So that's okay. When you're learning new stuff like this, sometimes it takes a little bit when you start, but the more practice you get, the better you'll get at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing we have to do is to solve this problem. So do you want to try to solve this problem?
This
Yeah.
this problem right here. Time it.
So let's be careful. This is subtraction.
That's subtraction?
Yep, so we don't want to put a multiplication here because this is X minus that, right? This is our original cost minus our sale cost.
Yeah, add it, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's subtraction, you add
Yeah,
it.
so can we combine these terms?
Combine these terms?
Yep, can we combine these two terms?
Yeah.
We can, right? They both have X.
Because it's 1.